She was watching my stories. She was commenting on everything that I was posting. We really got on a phone call to talk about what it would look like for me to coach her. And during that time, she told me she could not afford more than $30 on a coach. But in the same breath, she told me she was willing to invest $100K on some dude who was going to teach her how to do certain tactics for social media. That's when I realized that it wasn't a her problem. It was a me problem and a messaging problem. Hey, what's up? My name is Elizabeth Graham and welcome back. If you're new here, I am a messaging and sales strategist for service-based business owners. I have helped over a dozen women learn to sell confidently in the DMs without a script. Don't forget to like this, subscribe, and turn on the notifications if you want to be notified when I send out new videos. And if you're listening in the podcast, please rate this so it can go out to more people. The better rate I get, the more people will hear this and the more people I can help in learning how to sell in the DMs and have a killer message. Most service providers see a silent lead and they think that person will come to me when they're ready, but they're not. The truth is they won't come to you when they're ready. They are waiting for you to take that leadership and go talk to them, or somebody else with good leadership skills will step in and slide in their DMs and turn them into clients. Today, I'm going to teach you the watch, wait, move method. That's going to teach you exactly how to watch someone, wait for the right time, and move in confidently in the DMs without feeling that pushy or salesy feeling that sometimes you get when you slide into someone's DMs. A lot of times I hear people talk about like, what is a cold lead? What is a warm lead? And what is a hot lead? Is someone a cold lead who is already inside of your stories, watching your stuff? And my response is no. When you have a silent lead, someone who's just watching your stuff and kind of low-key sitting back and thinking, I wonder if she would be the right person for me, they are warm. The only difference is between a cold, hot, and warm is a cold is someone who probably never knew about you, never engaged with anything of yours. And a warm is someone who is watching your stories, commenting. You can see that they are engaging in your stuff. That is someone who is warm and who is thinking about entering your atmosphere, entering your offers. They are just waiting for the right time. And that is when you have to learn to read the room and step into that conversation, knowing what phase and what journey they're in before you try and sell them. Because if they are warm, they are not ready for you to pitch your offers at them. When I talk about a silent lead, it's somebody who is watching you, like I said, watching your stories and really thinking about what it is that you sell. How can you solve their problem? The only difference when you have a silent lead is between that and a hot and a cold lead is you need to stay in front of their stories. We can talk about how much information is out there and we all know it's like an overabundance amount, right? But the thing is that what is going to set you apart from the other person doing your stuff, the same thing that you do, is being in the forefront of their mind and constantly being in their feed, engaging in their stories, engaging with them, connecting with them, talking with them. Because I am not a believer in pushy sales tactics. I'm a believer in I'm going to throw the bait out. I'm going to put it out there for you. And it's going to be your decision when that time is right. My job is just to stay in front of a lead and to step in the conversation super confident and think about the right time to pitch at them. And that word pitch, even on its own, for me, when it comes to a warm lead, gives me kind of this, it's not a word I like to use often. I like to say guide them through the process. Because I'm not here going to throw something hard at them. I'm going to guide them. And as a silent lead, I'm going to guide them first into stepping into their DMs, engaging with them. And then when the conversation opens up, or even if I feel bold enough, like we've known each other a long time, I follow them, I've engaged with them, and I see that they're struggling, I can boldly come in and say, hey, so we've been talking for a while and I'm going to be real honest with you. I really do think that we can work together and really creating a message that's going to talk to your audience. And I know we haven't brought it up or anything, but I genuinely believe that you have something there. And I know with me in your corner, we can turn that into such a fire message that it's going to draw in your dream clients. What do you think about that? Tell me your thoughts. Or what do you think? With those conversations, I step into them more of not pushy, but I'm like, hey, I see you're drowning. And I said this last week, I see you're drowning and I'm going to help you. Like if I see you're drowning, I'm going to help you. So as a silent lead, I know you're watching me. I'm watching you. Do you know that there's like this reel, and I don't know the song. I can't really think about it. Hopefully I can think about it by the time we're editing this, but it's like watching me, watching you, watching me, watching you. Like, I don't know. I just thought about that. I thought it was funny. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to do that with the reel when I talk about this because it's the truth. You're watching me. I'm watching you. You're watching me. I'm watching you. We're watching each other. And so one of us has to like make the move, right? From you being a silent lead to someone who is like, hey, let's talk about how I can help you. And I want you to understand that when you do this, you're not being pushy at all. You are positioning yourself as a leader in this space. So when they are ready and they think, I really want to get healthy. I feel gross. Like, I don't know. There's just something going on in my like gut. I need to get healthy. I remember what's her face like teaches on hormone balance and like really working internal. Let me head her up. Or you know what? Let me go follow her and see what she's doing. Let me get added to her email list. Let me start following her more on like Threads and start following her more on Instagram. Let me start looking at her stories. Do you know that's how, and I already have somebody in mind. She's probably listening to this podcast, but like that's how you continue to get into someone's mind. You continue to talk about what you offer, but also you're like, I know she was talking about losing weight and she was struggling with it. So maybe it could be a gut issue. Let me go see what she's doing and engage with her. And then you're in the forefront of her mind. And then when she thinks of it, even if she doesn't work with you, like let's say people want help with their guts and they're having gut issues, she can say, oh, I know this girl who works on that. Let me give you her Instagram. Do you see how you become relatable? And not only are you not being pushy or positioning yourself in a space where people think about you, that's how you want to set yourself apart from everybody that does the same thing you do. Because chances are, there could be 100 people doing the exact same thing that you do, but chances are that they're not positioning themselves in the front of people to really stand out, and they're not going out there and talking to people because a lot of people think people will come to them, but the truth is you have to go to people, and that's what you're missing. So I'll give you a perfect example for me. I have a warm lead that I have been kind of engaging with for 6 months now, maybe 8 months. And we've been following each other, like engaging in each other's stuff. I was scared to like message her. I'm not going to lie, because I was like, she's got so many followers. She's got like, I think over 5,000 followers. And I was really intimidated because I was like, she's probably like making a lot of money. She doesn't need me, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, wait a minute, vanity metrics don't matter. And so I shot my shot. I went for it and I was like, hey, I saw that you like commented, because this is when I knew it was time to go for it. Is she commented on one of my market research questions, and she posted that she was struggling with something. I'm not going to put all her business out there, but she was struggling with something. And I was like, ooh, I basically took her response. I messaged her and I was like, girl, tell me what you need help with. And I'll give you some tips. I would love to work with you. Have I heard from her? No, but I threw it out there. I was so scared because in my mind, she's making tons of money. In my mind, I'm like, she's got 5+ thousands of people. Like, what does she need little old Liz, who doesn't even have 1,500 followers on Instagram? Or I don't even know how many people I have. I could have more than that. I don't know. But I'm like, what would she need my help with? But the truth is, vanity metrics don't matter. She told me she had a problem. She answered that question. Now she's officially warm, and I'm gonna keep following up. Because one day she's going to realize that I am really good. And it's my job to be in the forefront of her mind. She's watching my stories all the time. And so I was just like, you would be a dream client. Like, her whole vibe, her whole everything is amazing. And so I'm just like, so I'm just waiting for it. But here's the truth. If I wouldn't have messaged her, if I wouldn't have engaged with her and connected with her, she wouldn't have answered my poll. And I wouldn't know that she is struggling, because you can't read a room that you're not in. You need to stay visible in every single person's rooms, AKA their DMs. Be in the room with them, because that's the only way you're going to know when they are ready. Which leads me into number 2, which is waiting. This is when you start to read the signal. Every single person will tell you when they're ready. Every single person will tell you when it's time. If you are consistently showing up, and I want to make sure that I make this abundantly clear. do not burn yourself out with content. See, I'm currently recording this early before it's out because I'm moving. And so because I'm moving, I am literally busting out as many videos, as much content as I can, but I have help. So because I have help, shout out to Kira, whoop, whoop. Because I have help from her, I honestly can bust out like a gang of content because she's helping me. When I tell you to stay visible, I don't mean you need to show up every day. I don't mean you need to be online every day. So many of you are going to burn yourself out with content and trying to be visible everywhere. If you do not have the help and you do not have the support, do not do that. Stay visible in the biggest visibility platform and in your nurturing platform. Okay, those are the two main things that you need to do if it's just you and you're really trying to make money so you can hire somebody to help you, or if you're just trying to like hire tools to help you, or if you're trying to get a service or something going. When I say stay like visible, I don't mean every day. I mean, you can have a thriving business without social media. It is very possible, but I teach on being on Instagram and closing the DMs. It would make zero sense if I wasn't visible on there, right? So I know where my audience is. You need to know where your audience is. Where are they most visible at? Where can you nurture them? For me, my audience is on Threads and Instagram. So Threads is visibility. So I bust out a ton of content on there now that I have help. And then the next one is for nurturing is Instagram. But I have the help, so I can be everywhere, wherever I want, because I do have the help. So when I tell you to be visible for your warm leads, for those silent leads, you can post once a day a story. Honestly, the first 3 stories that you post when you're getting up your momentum is always a question. Like for market research, it should be a testimony and then something that leads into a call to action. That's it. If that's all you do every day, and I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to be very honest, I use the same questions. I just like rotate them. Why? Because I will always get better answers every single time. I will get a better answer from somebody when it's like even a repurposed question. And like, let's say here, when I do my transcript, I can take my transcript from here and put it in AI. And if you're anti-AI, you do you, boo-boo. I'm not, because I have 3 kids. I homeschool. I'm solo parenting. I got to use AI. Like if like I just completely shut you out and you're like, you're terrible with AI. Okay, I'm sorry. But like my life is better when I use it, and I don't use it every day. So I use my brain. I have been in business so long. Like I have been doing this for a long time online that I deserve a break, bro. Anyways, I just went on a whole tangent for you there. But you have to like do what is best for you. You can I can take this transcript and I repurpose my questions, asking questions about market research like that tie into this. Do what's best for you, but try to stay visible at least 5 times a day. Did I say 5 times a day, bro? I meant 5 times a week. Wow, Liz, you're telling them like, don't burn out. And you're over here saying 5 times a day. No. 5 times a week, at least once a day, doing your first 3 stories. And then as you get more clients and you find a rhythm, you can just post once every other day because you're busy with clients. Like find your own rhythm, but try to stay visible in the platform that your people are on. Do not ever stop marketing yourself, because as you work with me and we work together, you're going to notice that you're going to get clients and then you're going to get busy. Always, always, always market yourself, because eventually those clients will fade out and you'll need new ones, and you want to have a circle. You want to have a consistency with clients. But I can teach you all the messaging stuff, but if you end up not doing the work, it's not my fault. Okay. So what I'm saying is find a consistent rhythm to posting so you can stay in front of your silent leads. And that's when you start to learn to read the room with them, and you read the signal. You wait for the signal for them to give to you. And the truth is, like, as you're talking to your silent leads, they're going to give you an opening. You just have to be willing to 1, wait, 2, learn to find that opening. And it's usually very subtle. It could be a sentence. It could be a click. It could be a tap. If you're in stories, as I teach you, like my main thing is taking your message into stories off into the DMs. So as they engage in there and they click it, even if it's on accident. I love when people tell me it's on accident, because your girl is like, oh, don't trip. It's okay. And then I end up putting them in my like CRM or in my outreach, like I'm hit you up in a week, because even though they did that, it's very subtle, very subtle. Just because someone like taps something, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, let's sign up. I will message them and I'll be like, oh girl, did you mean, especially if it's somebody I've been talking for a while. I'm like, did you mean to do that? Was that by accident? I don't know if that's the smartest move. If you want to comment below and tell me, no, you dumb, that's not what you do, I'm fine by that. But that's what I do. And it's been 50-50. Like, it's like, no, it's on accident. I just really want to support you. Great. Awesome. I'm adding you. I will hit you up in a week. And then if it's like, yes, like I'm struggling, then I'm like, boom, let me hit you up. What's up? Let's chat. What's going on? And so it's important that like your silent lead, that you pay attention for that opening, because that's when you'll know when it's time to really close, really start to like talk to them and mention to them and bring up, like, even if it's on accident, you can be like, hey, if you know anybody who'd be interested in my services, I would love it if you threw my name out on like somebody asking for like messaging and sales help. You can send them to me and I'll give you like a referral fee. Yeah. It's like usually 10%. Like I'll give you 10%, blah, blah, blah. And so honestly, that is a great way to build your network. And I always say that, build your network. When your next step which is to move, and you're really moving in to like asking them a curious question to open the conversation, ask a simple question like I did with that silent lead, like a simple question like, hey, you said this thing. Can I ask a little more about that just so I can learn more about you and my audience? Confidently step into that. And if you don't have like your own audience and if you don't feel confident in there, that's what I teach inside of my membership. I teach you to confidently step into every single conversation, because if you don't know who you're talking to, if you don't have confidence in your target audience, you don't have confidence in your message, DM selling is nothing. Like you're going to talk to everybody and get nowhere, because you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to waste all this time talking to these type of people, but they're not really looking for what you have. So when you get them in the DMs, it's like, no, thank you. I don't need that right now. And the more you get that, the more discouraged you're going to be. And the confidence starts to shrink in you and your business. So I'm going to link below my Phoenix experience. It's a monthly membership for $97 a month. I'm raising the prices in June because it's becoming more of a mentorship, like a mentor/membership. And I'm gonna be honest, $97 is a sick deal, but I'm going to raise the prices because, to be honest, all of the value these women are getting inside of that is fire, dog. And so when I come back from my move, I'm going to raise it so we can have, like, I do weekly workshops. I do weekly challenges. I'm in there in the DMs with them. And it's hosted on Circle. So I'm commenting. I'm always engaging with them. And so if that's something that you're interested in, I'm going to link it down below in the description for you to get information about it. But if you're like, I'm not sure if I'm ready, but you don't know your audience, make sure you also look at the freebie as well. It is called Spark the Conversation. This is a great way for you to understand your audience, figure out your audience, find their pain points, find their language, find their phrases. And at the end, you're going to get a copy mining blueprint that you create and really helping you create content that speaks their language to start calling them in. So check that out also in the description below. We implement around here, and here is your homework for this week. I want you to identify one silent lead. And the best way to find them is to go into your stories and click a story and see who's watched it. Pay attention to the patterns of who is watching your stuff and not saying anything. I want you to engage with them and connect with them. And then I want you to add them to your tracker. That way you can follow up with them and you keep track of who is silently engaging with you and engaging in your stories and just not saying anything. I want you to wait for their signal. Don't force it. Don't try to go in for it right away. Just engage with them. Listen to them. Post questions that they can engage in. Why? Because this opens the door for conversation for you to work with them in the future. Now, if you want to get better with reading the room, make sure that you take my Spark the Conversation challenge, as I mentioned. The description is down below, and this will help you really understand who is ready and making sure that your message speaks to the person who is watching, waiting, and ready for your move. I'll see you next week.